Hey all, Siege here, and today I want to talk about a very new and very concerning aspect to Warframe that has been introduced through both the new Heart of Deimos update as well as Season 4 of Nightwave. Personally, this newest installment of Nightwave is exactly the type of turn I was hoping to see, and it's putting to rest a long-standing issue I have with the character of Nora Knight. But first, spoilers to those who have not yet played the Iced Valis portion of the Glassmaker series or have not completed the introductory mission in the Heart of Deimos. If you don't want to know about either of those things, now is the time to depart. But for the rest of us, I feel like I can say with fair certainty that from what I'm about to go over, on a long enough timeline, the Tenno will fall. That's right, all of us. I'd be hard-pressed to accept an argument at this point refuting the idea, at least from what we've learned over the past few months. I'm going to explain what makes me feel this way, but the first order of business I have to attend to is what the wiki claims Nihil from Season 4 of Nightwave actually looks like. I know a lot of people, including said wiki, stated he was a Cephalon, and although I guess it's still possible he could show up as one, he sure does look like an Orokin, don't you think? More importantly though, I might be wrong because the wording is broad, shall we say, but I do believe we've been threatened by this dude. And not just like me or you in the singular sense. I mean the entirety of us, all the Tenno. And I can't say I can remember an enemy as bold as this in the game, because at this point, I would assume the Tenno have never really been stronger. And what's more, for the first time, someone actually acknowledges Nora. See, it's always been weird that she can just show up right in the middle of significant events and slip right out without ever seeming to be in danger. First, I believed her to be another Tenno, but given that she never engages any of the things she consistently tasks us with, I don't believe she has powers like ours. So, given that Nihil is actively threatening her, knowing that and how she works essentially behind the scenes means he is either otherworldly himself, or has his own network already in play, which the entirety of the Glassmaker story essentially alludes to. What's concerning is that he says his order will be amplified and that it will no longer be upheld one miscreant at a time, which I'm assuming works like having all 6 Infinity Stones and wishing out those who don't meet his criteria of quote-unquote order, which would most likely include the Tenno. After all, with the concept of what the heart represents in the Heart of Deimos update, the wellspring of both the Tenno and the Warframe's power, it's a good bet he too knows what it's capable of and may already have plans for it, for all we know, but I'll get more into that later in the video. Now that we've established this character's desire to bottle Nora and the Tenno, should his threats become a reality, I also want to talk about a part in the chapter that might not resonate as much, but I think has some interesting implications regarding Fortuna, and something I apparently got wrong as well. I had erroneously believed that the different clues in previous missions, i.e. the numbers or symbols or whatever, weren't relevant and that they were more like path markers to move to. Turns out, all of those things us Tenno were gathering, while not necessarily important to any of the singular chapters, do explain the process by which this doomsday device, the endgame of Nihil's story, was built, and its implications are rather interesting. Cutter, the corpus depicted in the story, was researching Parvus Granum, as well as a device that could replicate a clone signal to multiple locations and data on members of Vox Solaris. So one can only assume he means to create or send specters to multiple places at once to potentially deal with all of them, or anyone deemed disorderly at least. Are we about to see a large-scale massacre of many of the people of Fortuna? Although I realize the method would be different. This still has me thinking back to a time when the Orb Mother, quote-unquote, mistakenly attacked Fortuna, way back around its introduction in the game. Now, regardless if it was a bug or not, what always felt weird to me is that there's a loading screen between the opening of Fortuna and when you first walk out to the Orb Valis, so I thought, what bug could cause this enemy in another area of the game to end up here? Did it walk all the way over here and somehow jump maps? And then I got to reading about Deck 12, the incident that Yudiko always refers to as the reason she left Vox Solaris in the first place. See, that's where the people of Fortuna used to live, but after the initial failed rebellion of Solaris United, the Orb Mother invaded and destroyed it. And you know, if I think about it, I'll bet it looked a lot like this. And my point is, maybe this animation or potential boss fight even was added into the game on purpose and just hasn't been used yet. Deck 12 is also the focal point of the reason why this Cutter character went to the lengths he did to betray Vox Solaris with Nihil. According to the information inside the memory weave,
you want to know why I'm doing this. Your friend, Nora, wants to know. Naughty little Nora. Afraid I would find her all alone and put her in a bottle. Yes, Cutter and his friends have been quite helpful in opening my eyes and ears to the modern system. We both prize justice, defend it. What justice do you imagine enacting if I have to put you in a bottle? Do you know mercy, Tenno? I almost spared Cutter. He was a traitor, but to betray one must belong. Cutter never did. It was a nation of law, and to that he was truly loyal. But traitor he was, and for all his proud words, he begged at the end. And I killed him, I suppose. Killed what he was. But you killed too, constantly. Doesn't put you in much of a position to judge. I have all that I need. Order will no longer be upheld one mystery at a time. I am amplified. Soon I shall be everywhere, and with it, order. What a fine example each and every Tenno shall make. You killers of foes, friends, and family. And naughty Nora. Her role won't change terribly much, but her agenda, very different. A voice of truth and order, sermonizing tirelessly, forever. Fully aware of what she has become. Goodbye, Tenno. Our next meeting will be our last.
he didn't think life was so bad under the corpus, and I wonder if there are others who maybe feel the same way. Are there more spies yet to contend with? And now that Nihil has whatever this thing is, he could in theory produce countless specters and use them as assassins. Given the information he has on the people of Fortuna now, he'll know where they are and what they've done. Or he could in theory just pass this information of the recently reformed Vox Solaris and their behavior directly to Nathaniel. You might say, we can beat the Orb Mother should it invade again, we've done it before. Well, maybe the specters referenced in the story aren't meant for Fortuna at all. Maybe they're meant for us. We do hear stories of Granum's specters being able to overwhelm actual warframes. The reason why Protea was gifted to him in the first place, and even Nora is considering the possibility of Parvos and Nihil having an allegiance of some sort. Now, what I want you to do is visualize and imagine the concept of being overwhelmed by multiple copies of these specters at once. If you do, I'm sure you'll realize I'm not sure there's much we can do. This is the first time, lore-wise at least, I feel the Tenno are in actual danger. We may actually have some consequences coming for what we've done. Remember all those choices you made, kiddo? Apparently somebody does, and they want to make us own up to them. Still feeling good about your shadow now? Before you answer, you should probably know that it gets even more problematic when we incorporate the Heart of Deimos and its potential. Nihil, being Orokin himself, would most likely have full knowledge of the heart and what it can do. And although his specters would essentially be useless without the power of the void should he decide to dispose of the heart, at that point, what would it matter? All they really need to do is destroy it. Something that doesn't seem that difficult to actually achieve. And we would effectively be neutralized. All of us, all at once, system-wide. And unless we're willing to set up and protect the heart full time, it's really completely open to a coordinated attack. Like maybe one from multiple specters at once? When the last part of Nightwave finally drops, it will be imperative for the Tenno to kill Nihil. He cannot be allowed to escape, because I firmly believe destroying the Tenno has now become a priority for him, and he's got the tools to do it. Like I mentioned before, we've walked into some pretty treacherous terrain this time. In theory, more so than anything the Tenno have ever faced before. And here's the thing. Even if he isn't successful, and we do dispose of him, the fact that this technology and the exposed heart of Deimos now exist mean the Tenno will never truly be safe. And furthermore, with said heart showing up right before the final part of this season's Nightwave launches, could there be a connection? Sure do have a lot of similarities, Nihil and the Entrati, don't they? With that being said, what do you make of all this? Truth be told, I'm still a little shaken and surprised. But yeah, as far as the last part of Nightwave is concerned, you now absolutely have my erection. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed the video today and it got you thinking about what's coming for us. I don't think the "we're just kids" excuse is going to cut it this time. And there's no one to save us but ourselves. Regardless, I hope you all have a wonderful day today, wonderful rest of your week, and I'll talk at you all in the next one. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Bye.